ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। हरि ओम। Hearty greetings to you all on today's very joyous and auspicious occasion of Sri Ganesh Chaturthi Utsav. At the Pranav Ganesh temple in our Chinmaya Vibhuti, there will be very special pujas from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. You please watch, have the darshan of Sri Ganesh Bhagavan and receive his blessings. Invoking his blessings, we begin our class now. We are discussing about the separation of mind and the objects. Hamsa Bhagavan spoke to the Sanat Kumaras in the presence of Brahmaji, and from that what we understood is that there is only one absolute reality which is indicated by the word Brahman in the Upanishads. So that alone is. Now if we see, experience something other than that, because that Brahman is Sat Swarup, whichever is, but we see things, now it is there, now it is not there, in this way. It is Chit Swarup Chaitanya, but we also experience something which is called inert, insentient. It is Ananda, but we find there is some sorrow. That means something different only we are experiencing. Or that reality which is free from all names and forms and differences, but we see so many names and forms and all differences. So what they are, how they to be accounted for. So Vedanta says you can look at them two ways. One is all this what we experience as many things, they are appearances. Abhas there, abhas. We don't deny, because they all are there. In other words, they all enjoy what you call relative reality, apparently real. So either way, either this way you see that all this is what Abha, or you say that one alone is appearing as all. Brahman alone is appearing in the form of all names, all forms. He is Vishwatma, Sarvatma. Now what happens is, generally the idea that other than Brahman nothing exists, that is very difficult to comprehend. Then to understand it, Abhas also mind is not able to grasp it. But when it is said, it alone, everything is little better. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All right. So now what Bhagavan said, that Brahman and alone, other than that, what you see as the body, the senses, the mind, then the world of objects, all the differences are seen. and they will continue to function, remember. So, even after this knowledge, you will see the world of objects with your senses, and mind will also feel, intellect will think, and you will go on describing some people in prose, somebody in poetry, somebody in singing. In so many ways you will speak about it. That's all right. But all these differences are only in the same world of appearances, you call them, whichever way you understand now. They do not exist on their own. It is only one thing. Because when you say the world of object, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Gandha, but our body also is Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Gandha. Right? And we get attached to this and we don't think. Our idea of objects is always something different from the body. And if we remain attached to this body and identified with it, and then want to withdraw the mind, it will not be possible. But if someone really develops vairagya from the body, then separately the person doesn't have to do anything to withdraw the mind from this, from that, because after all attachments to objects, things and beings is only for the body's sake. The mind also is that only element. So, what Bhagavan says, these guna and cheta, the objects and the mind, both of them are condition of the jiva, because the jiva is the experience, I have mind and I am experiencing the world of objects. Right? Then when you further you inquire what is the jiva, Bhagavan says madatma only. The jiva is not a finite, this kind of entity, but absolute, it is Brahman only. So, when the attention is drawn to that, then jiva bhava also goes away and you become free from all these problems. Let me tell you, when you gain knowledge for wise man, also the world continues to be there to see, or the body and all that, but his knowledge is always shining. That I am that Chaitanya Tattva Brahma, that alone is in all this form. Therefore, he never gets attached, na sajjate, never gets attached to anything, even though all transaction goes on, everything goes on. That is the beauty that of knowledge. So, now here, having said that, Bhagavan again says in the next shloka, that is 26th. Guneshu cha vishachittam abhikshnam gunasevaya gunascha chitta prabhava madrupa ubhayam tyajet. See, you are saying the mind is always again and again going to the objects and getting attached to that, then the objects are entering into mind. Why it is happening? Because Guneshu Avicham Abhikshnam Gunasevaya. Abhikshnam is continuously. Gunasevaya. Why this mind is going into that? Because the mind always goes on thinking of objects only. And remember, whenever we think objects, we things and beings and places and people and experiences, and all the emotions, feelings, these, that, all that put together, constantly thinking only, gross or subtle. Good experiences, bad experiences, whatever, all that which is happening. Always thinking. Sometimes those thing happened which is few years ago and all that, again you think of that. Sometimes you get angry, sometimes you become sad, or sometimes, how I wish those days come back. They will not come back. Nostalgic I am feeling about it, nostalgic. variety of. So, one way or the other, mind is all the time thinking. So, naturally what happens is, whatever you continuously think and how you think, number one, that all these objects are very real. First, reality is given to them and independent reality is given to them. Right? Then again we think priya apriya rupenam, this is dear to me, not dear to me, pleasant, unpleasant, joy giving, not joy giving, in this way. So we give reality to it, we superimpose beauty on it, we consider it as source of joy and go on thinking. So mind goes on thinking, and then you have to detach or then you have to quieten the mind. Huh? But you only are giving reality to it. So, by this repeated, constant only brooding over the object, giving them that reality of their own and establishing that relationship, so my and all that, in this way you go on thinking. So, in this way the mind has entered into object by constant this thought. Naturally, those thoughts also have entered, the objects also enter into your mind. Gunascha chitta prabhavaha. See, first time it may appear that as though object is different from me and I think of the object. But by thinking that object has entered into me, now again object chitta prabhavaha. Again my mind again goes on creating that world. So we are creating illusion in the illusion in the illusion. Virtual world. We like everything so much. So, in the beginning also the object is really not different from the mind in essence, but we think it is different. Then we think, then it has entered. After again we think, why a very peculiar game is going on, and it is no more a game for us. It is not a sport. We become miserable only. But wise people know what the absolute truth is. They know what the relative truth is, what is the relationship. One is, they say only Brahman alone is, what are you talking about other things? Or they say, all his abhas roop it is there. Why are you giving too much reality to it? See, any loss or gain can affect our mind depending upon how much importance and value we have given to that, isn't it? If we have not given any importance to it, then it means nothing. So, abhas, why you are taking abhas so satyam? See, when we wake up from our dream, how easily we dismiss it, adjust it was a dream. But we are not able to do the same thing with this, what you call the solid reality of this world. But Jnani Purusha, a wise person, knows that this also is that. Or Brahman, which is me, that alone is in all these forms. So, what is the problem? Whether experiences of various objects, they are there or they are not there, it makes no difference to me. See, in rainy season, it rains or sometimes it doesn't rain. What difference it makes to the sky or the space? Huh? It makes no difference. But for us, everything makes very difference because of our own projections of mind. Guneshu cha avisha chittam. Why? Abhikshu, continuously you are thinking of that only. And all objects chitta prabhavat, because they are in the vasana form. And again they go on projecting. Bhagavan says, mad rupam ubhayam tyajet. Mad rupaha sanna ubhayam tyajet. Now understand that these two things, they are not separate from each other. And actually their true nature is, Bhagavan says, it's my or it's Satchit Ananda Swarupa. Then Ubhayam Tyajet, give up them means what? You rise above them. That means what? Rise above them, no more attachment to them, no more dependence on them. They are there or they are not there. There is a very beautiful shloka in Panchadashi. Panchadashi is a very beautiful text of Vedanta. Vedanta Swamiji. He says, Maya meghaha jaganniram varshatvesha yatha tatha chidakashasya mehanihi navalabha iti sthiti. He says, let the cloud of Maya pour down the rains of worlds. So just as the clouds pour down the water, it makes no difference to the sky. In the same way, Maya meghaha, Maya is our mind only. Let it bring out many, many thoughts and very experiences and all that. Chidakashasya me na hani. I am space of consciousness. There is no hani, loss, or there is no gain. Chaitanya rupena hamasmi. This is what he said here. Madrupaha ubham tejet. Sometimes watching the rains is joy, isn't it? So what? And suddenly stopped. It's all right. Madrupa. So every individual, the seeker of knowledge, must understand this Chaitanya Swarupa Ahamasmi. This mind is bringing out thoughts. So many experiences are created. So there is no gain or there is no loss. This is called rising above. We don't have to stop it. If it stops, all right. If it doesn't stop, also is all right. That's the beauty of this knowledge. Because there is no insistence on anything. There is only abidance. There is no insistence. There is only abidance in truth. But there is no insistence that it should appear in this way or it should appear in this way. There is a difference. Our problems begin because we insist upon certain changes, that certain changes should happen or they should not happen. Why this is happening? Which should not happen? And how long this is that? When is it going to stop? See the difference? Only wise person, a jnani, has got abidance in the self. And as far as the worldly things are there, no agraha, buddhe phalam anagraha, not insistence on any particular thing to happen or not to happen, or this should come, this should go, nothing like that. Madrupaha, san vayam tyajet. You become this. Bhagavan. Now what? I have finished all your problems, See, sometimes, we try to keep on removing the problems, solving the problems, but Vedanta, it dissolves only the problems. You give reality to that problem and then you want to solve it. I tell you, there are so many people, their whole idea of non-dual experience is that they should not see this world. Babare, they go on struggling. And then suddenly they become tatastha, it is called. No body awareness, no. In our Vedantic text, it very clearly said this samadhi is no samadhi, dhyan samadhi. Just sitting like that and experiencing, trying to remain only in that, that also is another ignorance only. If it remains, it remains. If you see the world, what is the problem? Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind goes, there only you have the tattva darshanam. But the thing is, this will happen once we realize our own true self. Don't say, Bhagavan, anyway, it may be not be problem for you, but it is problem for me. Bhagavan said, why don't you realize and then abide in that truth? And for you also there is no problem at all. How to do it? That how, I told you Anjasa, Tattva Vicharena, but what is Tattva Vichar? How to do it? Bhagavan said, I knew that, therefore I have come prepared from home. That you will ask this question. So Bhagavan said, okay, I will tell you how the enquiry should begin. Okay? And the beauty of Vedanta is, they begin enquiry from where we are, at our experience. From there only we begin. And then we are led to this truth. Jagrat swapna sushuptam cha gunato buddhi vrittayaha tasam vilakshano jivaha sakshitve na vinishchitaha. Bhagavan says, this is how you should think. Jagrat, it is called waking state of experiences. All our transaction is going on only in waking state. Even Guru Upadesh ityadi going on, waking state. What is a waking state? When a person is conscious of physical body, also identified with it, and with his senses see the world of material objects, then the experience that happens called waking state. Jagrat. Swapna. Swapna, the person is not aware of the physical body and physical surroundings, but the impressions that are there already in the mind, some of them in peculiar combinations and all that, they can get projected. So, this swapna is called vasanamaya prapancha. It is projections of the impressions in the mind. At that time, the person doesn't realize that. He feels that the world is there, objects are there, people are there, I am seeing all that. But everything is creation of mind only. This is called swapnavastha. So, in the waking state, there is an experiencer. There is an object experienced, and because of the contact, what arises is the experience. So, three factors are here. In the dream also, three factors are there. From the waking standpoint, we will say a dreamer, dreamt world, and the dream experiences. Sushuptam. Suptam, before that, Su. Gadha Nidra, dreamless sleep, Sushuptam. At that time, this triad is not there, we have not experienced, the experiencer, experience and all that, because they have become merged in one. Nirveshya Shrup, they may be there, avyakta rupena, but at that time nothing is experienced, because no body awareness, no senses seeing the world of objects. So the way we experience waking and dream is not there in that sleep. Now Bhagavan says, this waking, dream, sleep, these three states, buddhi vrittayaha, they are states of our buddhi only. And see, in Vedanta they interchange the word. Sometimes they may say manovritti only, sometimes say chitta vritti only. It is thoughts only, thoughts. So waking also is a thought, state of thought, state of experiences, dream also, sleep also. They are influenced by what? Gunataha. Gunata. There are three gunas, sattva gun, rajo gun and tamo gun. All the time they remain together only, but their preponderance, right? The proportion that goes on changing. So waking state, it is said, when sattva guna is more dominating, then there is a waking state of experience. Other gunas are also there. In rajoguna vritti prabhav, then dream is there. This is very rough classification. And when tamogun pradhan, deep sleep. So first he indicates the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. These are only the states of our mind. Because of sattva-gun, rajo-gun, tamo-gun. Adhikyas, right? Preponderance. Now, all these experiences are shining in the light of consciousness. Isn't it? I am aware of every object and experience in the waking, and also in dream. In sleep, on waking, when I say I did not experience anything, but there was no absence of consciousness. Because if there is absence of consciousness and absence of sat, then who would have woken up also? So consciousness is there in waking, it is there in dream, it is in sleep. But remember, these states do not belong to consciousness. Sometimes we use the word, waking is a state of consciousness, but what you mean? The state of experience of the mind only. Consciousness is the illuminator. Tasam vilakshano jivaha sakshitvena vinishchitaha. But the jiva, already said that jiva is only Chaitanya Atma, is already ascertained, vinishchita, is already his nature is ascertained as only Sakshi, the illuminator. And tasam vilakshanaha, totally distinct from them. So now think, waking state, dream, sleep, the experiences go on changing and all that. But every state of experience is illumined and known. Yes, now turn your attention to that which is the illuminator. You don't have to do anything. Only turn the attention only. This vilakshanata of Sakshi, distinctness of Sakshi, we will study tomorrow. And when we say shift the attention, what does it mean? That also we will see. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.